Right. Welcome to Overwatch, and welcome to another episode of Coaching the Many. Today, we're going to be talking all about Zenyatta, the big man himself. Probably my current main, I suppose, because Anna's out of the meta, hoping the next patch changes that somewhat. But yeah, Zenyatta. Very, very, very high impact hero, very near and dear to my heart. The reason why I picked this game was because it's actually a very, very solid game. The gameplay in it was pretty solid, like it was pretty good. So we're going to focus a lot on what he's doing right, but also, you know, occasionally when things are going wrong, some of the common traps with Zenyatta, stuff like that, how to get the most out of one of the most high skill heroes in the game. Zenyatta has a lot of strengths where, you know, he's got very good long range. He can pretty much one-shot people. You can sort of kill people over long distances very, very quickly by using the charge and then the shoot. He's got a very, very powerful ultimate. Discord Orb is extremely good. He just has some very big weaknesses as well. He's immobile. He's got an easy to hit hitbox. Thank you, Zuby, as well. Hey, Zuby. It's good to see you, man. Good luck tomorrow if you're playing tomorrow. And yeah, it's like, you know, he's very, very easy to kill, very easy to dive, but he can also sort of give as good as he gets, basically. So the game is at about 3.4k, so we're at the border. We're at sort of what I would rate as one of the most toxic and one of the most horrific places to play Overwatch in, which is at the border of Master and Diamond, right? There's a lot of egos here, there's a lot of people that get very upset if you start losing. It's very, very frustrating. So, not playing tomorrow, maybe in 4 weeks.
Hello, Zenyatta.
Hopefully you join us and watch it though. Anyway.
Fine.
So, as always, I like taking a look at the team comps. We'll have a look just to make sure that if anything changes, but let's take a look at the team comps. First thing you should always do anytime you're playing Overwatch is take a look at your team and think about what roles people are going to occupy. You know, we're sort of low on tanking power here, so we're actually going to be very, very vulnerable. The Tracer's going to be quite far away. The Tracer should be very high priority for our orbs, and the D.Va can actually do quite a lot with them as well. But the Tracer, if we can get an orb on Tracer, it makes them so much stronger. One of the reasons why Zenyatta, for example, who's been very, very hammered by the community lately, in the pro community, and the sort of people watching the pro community, not the pro community itself, was Sabayobi worked a lot more with his Zenyatta, so he generally had orb on him. He was generally sort of good to go, and then he would use that to chase down Zenyatta, his enemy Tracer, hunt him down and kill him. The Tracer with the Zenyatta orb has a huge advantage, and playing against that is very difficult. So you're sort of supporting your Tracers, very, very useful to do as Zenyatta. Same's true with Genjis as well. If you get the orb on them, they can do a lot more with it, and so you want to try and get that as much as you can. Widowmaker might occasionally need healing from us just because we can just throw the orb on her, top her off, and then focus on doing other things. It saves Mercy sort of darting all the way back, but she also serves as like a nice anchor point for the Mercy to dash to, so it's okay there. Otherwise, like, we lack tanks, so I'm going to be very worried about our own safety. You can see, oh, hello. That looks like a Junkrat. We want to be a bit careful about that, so we want to make sure that we're watching for traps. If you spot the Junkrat out early, always keep an eye out for traps and stuff like that. They can get you, even though you float. Alright, let's see. Be very careful in doing this. I actually want to highlight this. This is actually super risky. There's no reason to be first person out of the spawn. There is no advantage to do that. And I know you're probably, you know, thinking, oh, I'm going to get that Zenyatta. But I guarantee, like, in some matches, there will be a Widowmaker stood up here. And there'll be, oh, free kill. Boom, dead. Like, this can go very wrong very quickly, and it makes it super hard for your team to do much. Even though you have huge spawn advantages here, it's still very, very difficult for your team to push without that extra healing. Slows down your ultimate gain. Just let someone else go out first, draw a little bit of fire, and then we can worry about it. Otherwise, okay, we want to just get into a good position. Like, being over here is fine. Let's put an orb on that Mercy. No, we're just going to leave her. Wouldn't mind seeing the orb go onto Mercy, just to top her off that little bit quicker. Otherwise, it's fine staying on there. I will say, like, with our lineup, so yeah, A-OK is putting spam onto the Reinhardt barrier, just want to put pressure on it. Get into cover. This is all fine, this is all good. Just spending a moment or two here just to sort of poke out. Like, this is actually a very nice position for us. The reason, oh, that's behind my head. The reason why this is such a nice position for us is the health pack, just like that way. That way, kind of. It's right there, so if we take a little bit of damage, there's a health pack that we can easily pick up. We have decent range, so we can easily shoot here. We have good vision on absolutely everything. When we start moving up here, like, this is a little bit more sort of aggro-divey. This is a little bit more vulnerable. We have to be a little bit more careful about our positioning. You can see, like, the Soldier 76 is having free time shooting at us, and our only tank here is the D.Va. Good job getting the orb on the Junkrat. This movement I don't like at all. This is just leaving us very, very vulnerable. What I would have liked to have seen is us moving more towards this way. Because if threats do start coming in, like through here, through up here, through down here, we want to be able to get out of there as quickly as possible. We don't want to be sort of stood there in the open when threats are coming in on us. We want to be able to get away from that as fast as possible. So by moving yourself over here, if you think about your escape routes over here, well, you either go downstairs this way, which is towards the enemy, that's not good. You either try and run all the way back here, which is a big distance, not good, or you're just stuck out in the open and you're going to die. So we want to be very careful about that sort of stuff. I get the orb on and then start funneling our way back. So you can see, like, because of that distance, Soldier gets an easy kill on us. Luckily, Mercy, doesn't give a shit. And now we have to be very careful, because, yeah, we do have to tuck in under here, so I'm fine with this. Tucking in back here, we notice the Mercy's vulnerable, D.Va's going for her, so we prioritize that. Good, 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 good. When you're playing Zenyatta, if you can support, like, support should support other supports, basically. If someone's trying to dive the backline, the support should look after each other as much as possible. It makes it very hard to get the dive off. When you both survive, then you both survive, then you can both go and do things. Otherwise, we are A-OK standing here, just putting orbs in. I'm trying to make sure we're getting the orbs on the right target. The one thing I like that we're doing is we're not swapping around the orbs too much as well. We're not being too spam happy. If we see a high priority target like Mercy, then sure, we're going to put the orb on her. But otherwise, we're just sort of putting the orb on stuff and letting it rest a little bit. One of the big mistakes you see a lot of Zenyatas make is that they swap the orb every 2 seconds just because they can, because they have the button there. It's not really the way you want to do things. You instead want to focus on having that orb just on a single target that's high value. And so that means your DPS can play around it a lot easier. We want to stay nice and far back, nice and safe, because sights are going off. And otherwise start moving towards the point. Relax, this is Junkrat. Like, this matchup here is actually pretty easy for the Zenyatta. Junkrat has a very big hitbox, so just take it cool. Dodge, juke as best you can. Lead the target ever so slightly and land a couple of these hits. He'll go down, no problem. Mercy's firing off ults. We're going to keep it rolling forward. We have a monkey now, which is fine for us. So if you just prioritize and trying to get that monkey orbed as much as possible. If the monkey jumps in, put an orb on him, it's fine. I would honestly say you would have been fine leaving the Orb of Discord on the Mercy there as well. Hey, it's a bit of a shame that like the Tracer swap target, but just keeping Discord on high priority targets is fine. Otherwise, it's a little bit messy, I suppose, because it wasn't really like a single concise fight, but it still worked out. Otherwise, now we're just looking to clean up. As a Zenyatta, like, there's a temptation as Zen to, like, run all the way to the corner here, but the issue with that is if the enemy team starts to bounce back or starts to sort of, like, if the enemy team kills you, that's a big signal to them that they can start doing things. So if you just take it easy, take it slow, move with the payload a little bit, don't get the, you know, rush of blood to the head, basically, and just let the game play out a little bit here. You want to be very careful if you're going to start super advancing forward as Zen. You got to make sure you have a team to cover you. That's when Zen Lucio works a little bit better, because the Lucio can speed boost you around, act as a chauffeur. Like this position here, this is very minor, but it's quite big, where we've just stood, like, we're out in the middle. So if you think about, like, if I draw a drawing up here, you know, there's like a wall here, and then there's kind of a wall, this wall over here. Think about what this Soldier 76 is seeing. The Zenyatta has just gone like, doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo, and he's walked all the way out here, and then he's sort of floating his way over here. Right, this is Zen, and he's just in the middle. And he's just stood right out in the open in the middle. When instead, the Zen could be over here. You know, he could be just closer to the wall. His legs, because he floats. It could be closer to the wall, could be safer and just more tucked away. Like, we don't need to be this far out in the open. This gives us 0 benefits and nothing but fears, basically. You can use the payload for cover, you can use corners. We want to be abusing that as much as possible. Otherwise, trying to prioritize, like, this is where it starts to get a bit messy. We have Transcendence, which is the important thing. We have Infrasight as well, so we can see what they're doing. Here we get a little bit isolated. Again, this is sort of all off the back of these positioning decisions we're making, where we're just sort of pushing out into the open for no real reason. Like, this is a free Zenyatta kill. If the enemy team is sort of on the ball and feeling sharp, this is very free for a Zen kill. And so sort of getting stuck up here, a little bit tricky. We can always trance to get out of it, but it's not really opportune, so we have to sort of take a risk and walk back this way. We managed to pull it off, we managed to survive it, but it's not ideal. Can always hide from that. No need to waste trance. Put an orb on that D.Va. Like, keep an eye out for stuff like, you know, the critical symbol that flashes into our face, it should be here somewhere. Like this symbol is always a good reference point. It means that they're sub 50 hit points, I do believe, and it's always just a good idea just to hit the target with critical on it. Get an orb on it, get 2 shots on the Mercy, doesn't work out. After that point, that's when you can swap off the Mercy. Like, if people don't turn and kill her pretty much instantly, what I've learned through experience more than anything is that if she doesn't die in the first couple of seconds of her ultimate, she's probably not going to die during her ultimate. It just seems to be how people sort of function, I suppose. They just sort of stop trying after those first couple of seconds. So you put the orb on her, you fire a couple of shots, no one else does, you go, okay, whatever, and then you try and kill targets on the ground as best you can. So like an orb on this Winston a bit quicker would have been nice, for example. You're fine just putting it on the soldier there. Don't move him. Everyone's a bit low. McCree needs saving a bit. If I remember right, yes, this is when we use the trance. I am okay with this trance. Like, people have asked me in the past, you know, when do you use Transcendence? How do you use Transcendence? And the answer is usually, you know, if there isn't something obvious, right? If there isn't like a Zarya. So, you know, if there's a Zarya in this game and she had Graviton, sure, you don't use Trance here. You wait it out for the grab. But because there's no big obvious thing that you have to really protect from, like Soldier 76 ult is kind of it, you can use this a little bit more liberally, and this fight is kind of is teetering on the edge, right? We don't know who's going to win or lose it. The Mercies have committed their ultimates. So if we commit our ultimate, we want to be a little bit more conscious of, yeah, just nip over, just touch the D.Va for a second or two and just get them topped up. But it's just teetering on the precipice, so we want to give our team that little bit of extra push. There's no big signals as well that, you know, we're actually losing this fight or anything. There's nothing that's sort of super alarming. I mean, we lose a Widow, not the biggest deal in the world. Most of our DPS is still in place. We've killed their tank. We're starting to push in. So there's no real detraction. Like, even Grenade is down, so we sort of have a clear field to take the chance, put the trance in, and sort of get something done here. Just, you know, because you're running a Widowmaker, or the team's running a Widowmaker, it's a little bit tricky there. Team covers from the high noon pretty well. But this is where the target focus sort of starts falling apart. Like, during this Transcendence, this was the opportunity to get something done, perhaps about this Ana, or about anything else, but the Deadeye sort of shuts it all down a little bit, and the kills just don't come in fast enough. I'm gonna have a quick slurp of a drink. We get res, but this fight, you know, you can tell that it's already starting to look bad. Like, we want to just maximize our damage output. If we get the D.Va mech, that's great. But honestly, like, we want to be careful. We want to be very careful about what we're doing here. And even this is a little bit gratuitous. Like, just taking a right-click shot on the D.Va would be okay. I think Mercy does, yeah, Mercy does something here that infuriates me. It's like, what is this? Don't do this. Like, you guys have 2 minutes 32. If this Mercy dies, it's going to take her about 20 seconds to respawn and get back here. That's 23 seconds for the enemy team. What's she going to do? What's she going to kill? No one. She's going to kill herself. The ditzy cow. Like, just, no. Don't do that shit. That's the #1 reason why people just waste times in games. Be very conscious of, fight is over, our job is to survive. You can maybe go for a quick pick, but you really just want to flash out around the corner, fire off your orbs, flash back in. And stuff like this can happen. I wanted to highlight something with this Winston, if I remember right. So Winston jumps in, we do a good job, we have orb on him. Like, you can tell that, like, this, all my instincts are saying this is going to go extremely well for our team. Okay? There's an orbed Winston fighting against most of our team, and if we're even lucky, D.Va can even go up here and shut off this exit route. This is a dead Winston. Like, I've seen this instance enough times where I know that this Winston is done like dinner. So we have actually a really nice opportunity here. D.Va throws in a random ass bomb, whatever. We start moving forward. I can see us focusing on this Tracer a little bit. Honestly, at this point, it's this Tracer's job to survive. Don't ever feel super pressured, like if a Tracer's in a position like this, because what we're about to do, spoiler alert, is we're about to drop down here. That is so risky. So risky. We're okay-ish because a lot of their DPS are dead. Their soldier is dead, so we can kind of take this risk, but Zenyatta is super powerful in a fight, right? He provides constant healing. He has an ability that in one button press, he removes 30% of an enemy's health. Thank you, Lord of the Flies, as well. Haven't you subbed before? Pretty sure you subbed before. If not, you've been around for a while, or I've seen you before. I recognize the name. It's not even Lord of the Flies. It's Lord of the Flies! Anyway, thank you, Lord of the Flies. Right. So like Zenyatta is super powerful, right? Like losing a Zenyatta loses you damage, loses you healing, loses you a debuff, loses you a powerful ultimate. You don't want to lose Zenyatta. So be very, very careful. Your life is a precious, precious thing. Tracer can get back up here, get back to you. Like this is a gamble, and like you can see, 34 slapped on 34 hit points. It's a miracle. It's a miracle that we survive this. Absolute miracle that McCree gets the 4K Deadeye. And the rest of this elementary. I don't like that Infrasight from Widow. I think one thing that Flower did extremely well was he was very tactical using his Infrasights. You don't need it here. Oh, beautiful. I will also highlight, just while we're in this interim period, what is that Diva Bomb? No need for that. Pointless. Absolutely pointless. Anyway. The enemy team should be trying to regroup. We'll cover that probably on the defense a bit. I do want to highlight that we have been actually making calls as well. Like, we have just been calling so-and-so Discord. Like, that's fine. That's A-okay. Just the only improvement I would say is so-and-so Discord and a location. Just some sort of bearing for people. So, you know, Mercy Discord middle. Or Mercy Discord in front. You know, just something like that. Mercy Discord corner. Mercy Discord lower ground. Mercy Discord above. Top right, top left. Stuff like that. Just a little bit of a direction. Always a good idea. Mercy stealing the orbs. Again, be very, very careful. You see movements like this? Well, this is where you can get punished super easily. So poking out here is fine because we have line of sight in the corner. But the mistake we make is we just start walking forward. And it's like, what advantages do we have by walking forward? Well, we're a bit closer, we can deal a little bit more damage, but safety is sort of with the payload, but because it's on this lip, the ground underneath it's actually very visible, so it's actually very easy to shoot under it. This isn't really good cover at the moment. There's no tank in front of us, there's nothing to protect us here, and so what you'll see is that as we move forward, the soldiers kind of realize that we're out in the open, land some bursts, and then we can't go anywhere. There's nowhere safe for us anymore, and we just die. Like, even with the res, like, even now, I don't feel particularly safe. It feels like what the enemy team should be doing at this point, but because they have an Orisa, they can't. If they had a Reinhardt, I guarantee they'd probably just be starting to push at this point. No, I don't want to take a screenshot, thank you. Like, the enemy team have advantages right now. But because they have an Orisa, they're kind of stuck in one location. Valkyrie gets used. Okay, now we have to push. Now we're committing. Just take it steady, take it steady. Now's a very good time for us to continue pushing. Just keep an eye on the Valkyrie and wait it out, and then consider trancing afterwards, like, depending on the situation. But it's looking very good at the moment. We could probably use trance pretty much at the end of the push. And it does start to work out. Like, now, ooh, now I'll be fine for trance. Yeah, I think you're okay doing this. You're A-okay doing this. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. And the pointless bomb killed McCree. Sometimes they do. I don't like him though. No, the pointless bomb killed McCree. No, ooh, I know what you're referring to. Let's highlight why this bomb was pointless. This is one of my favorite subjects, and I love pointing these out.
Welcome to Overwatch, Monster.
Thank you, Arsenal Magus, as well. It was all the way back here. Oh, so long ago. So far in the distant past. This bomb. This bomb was... These bombs tilt me. So, McCree's dead. What difference does it make? At all. Most of the defenders are dead or dying. The supports are dead. They can't fight. They can't do anything. They're just trying to set up on the corner, but they can't actually advance on the team. It's too far. The spawn is too close for the attackers at the moment, so there's no real point in killing them. McCree's going to be dead for 10 seconds. He's going to come back, and by the time he comes back, it'll lay okay. It's all fine. That bomb had zero impact on the game, aside from using up a resource that they could have used. When Mercy used Valkyrie, we started a push here. Imagine if they had a Diva Bomb then and just used it then. That push is suddenly very muted. Or when we're using Transcendence and you put a bomb over here, very muted. Diva Bomb is a really powerful resource. It's one of the best counters in the game to people being aggressive with support ultimates, because support ultimates don't work against Diva Bomb. They don't do anything to stop the Diva Bomb being effective. So those bombs really get me, because it's such a waste. And people treat Diva Bomb like this thing that's very disposable. It really isn't. It's either you're getting your mech back as soon as possible, or, alternatively, you are looking to sort of zone out a push, an aggressive push. So they use the support ultimate, use D.Va Bomb, and they can't do anything with it. It's also very good for sniping pharmacy comps as well, but that's a little bit more tricky and a little bit more advanced. There was a sub as well that I think I missed. No, there wasn't. Good. Ooh. Naked D.Va Bomb. Yeah, the naked D.Va Bombs. I call them naked D.Va Bombs because they're just D.Va Bombs thrown out with nothing alongside them. I say that's at least an okay bomb, relatively speaking. I played with a D.Va who initiated with D.Va Bomb on Anubis second point 2 times, and both got walled by Mei. Initiating with the bomb is different, though. Initiating with the bomb is very different. Like, that wasn't an initiation, that was just a D.Va Bomb being thrown to just try and kill someone. But it killed someone literally right outside their spawn door at a point where the enemy team can't contest. There was no gain from that ultimate. She might as well have just thrown it off the cliff. Like, it didn't do anything. Same as that Tracer Bomb and the staggered spawns. The Tracer Bomb I'm more forgiving of. Like, it's just to try and confirm a kill. It's a little bit unnecessary, but A, it's a Tracer Bomb, B, whatever. There's a chance the Mercy might get away, so why not just... Or the Ana might get away, so whatever. Willing to let that one slip. Otherwise, on defense, on Gibraltar, one of my favorite maps. I do like starting up here. Okay, let's talk about geometry. Brace yourself. This is relatively simple geometry, guys. We have terrain like this, terrain like this, and there is a gap. Okay? The gap has a distance. Call it D. We want D to be as short as possible. I know. I try to use this on women all the time and they don't believe me, but we want D to be as short as possible. The distance we are trying to cover needs to be as short as possible. This D, or this D1, is longer, than this D, because of triangles and how triangle works. We call this D2. So we want D2 instead of D1. So if you're trying to make this jump, and you do it from this angle, you see what McCree's doing? This is D1. Okay? Or this is D2 rather. This is the shorter distance. It is a straight line along sort of these. It isn't a fucking triangle, which is what we try to do. Which is, you know, you have like, so this is the hypotenuse. This is the adjacent. Whatever. You get the idea. Like, come the fuck on. Just... So there's like a line you can walk across here, and you just jump over. It's a little bit tricky. I do it by looking at the floor, and I just see how close I am to the edge, and then I jump. But yeah. Attackers incoming in 30 seconds. So yeah, jumping at the angle. No, we want a small D. Find the small D. Oh. So, I know I'm not saying anything, I was just watching. There we go. We got it. Okay. Part of why we want to be up here, by the way, is, yeah, you want to... So, as Zen, what I like to do is stay here, charge up a right-click shot, because what you normally see is something like a Genji, sometimes a Winston or a Tracer, will jump onto here and try and push inside. If it is a Genji, let go of your right click and like shoot it into a wall or just cancel it. Don't fire it at him, because he will just deflect it. He has enough time to do so. If it's a Winston or a Tracer, fire that friggin' right click at him. You're just there to punish something, jumping up here, put a Discord on it, put a little bit of damage, and then you can walk back to your team here, and you can start supporting in the main area. It's a really nice start for your team. Put a Discord on that. Beautiful, beautiful, that's what you want. Then just Discord stuff as we see it. Very nice. Nice, yeah, let's... I know this is... It's good that we realise that, hey, we should probably top that McCree off. Good. Good. Team's getting a little bit excitable at the moment. We're staying calm, we're staying cool, this is good. This is where like we are quite strong here. So just charging our right clicks, looking for opportunities. Now it's probably a good time for our team to start backing away. Regroup him. If you can get an orb on that tracer, it'll be amazing, but don't get out of position for it. Good. We managed to get the orb on. What we want. Like, honestly, look. No. No. Sorry. I'm angry at the diva. I'm not even angry, I'm disappointed. Just keep the orb on this tracer for now. I know the temptation, you see that she's yellow, but if you just look, she's only really lost 100 hit points. So it would have been nicer if the tracer like popped up here, suddenly we have line of sight on her, so the orb just stays on her. It's very, very powerful on that tracer. We have time to sort of think about our decisions very carefully. The enemy team's not really being that threatening. They're being spawn camped. Considering the VOD is like 15 minutes longer, I imagine this state of affairs will change at some point soon. Now this is where Zenyatta's good. Like this is why you bring Zenyatta on a team. And what makes me laugh... Oh, it's because they were 5 versus 6 for a little while, apparently. Alex Olafs is now joined the game, so expect it to turn now. The Reinhardt starts making his way out. And it makes me laugh though, because people are commenting on Moira and saying like, oh, Moira's so like Zenyatta. And it's like, why? Well, she has a purple orb and a golden orb. It's like, Moira can't do this. Right? Moira can't fight at this distance. Moira can't do shit at this distance. Moira's terrible at this distance. Zen is the king of distance. Beautiful shooting as well. Honestly, don't use trance. I know you might be tempted too soon. I don't like the fact that we dropped down there. I feel like it was more of a mistake than an intended move. Yeah, we just sort of jump and go, oh, where's the floor? Yeah. Triple DPS can work. Any semi-intelligent team comp can work. Don't overthink team comps. Until it starts going wrong, and then you might want to start really thinking about, okay, let's try something more normal. They're using a lot of resources here. Just back up. This is okay, right? Do not panic. Do not panic at all. We have Transcendence. We've been doing very well. As long as your team doesn't go nuts, we should be fine. They can't push it all the way through the first point off a single win. As long as people don't die, we're A-okay. We know exactly what's happening. You would have been okay probably even trancing now. It sounds like a really weird thing to say. But I'd say like the mark to trance is here. And the reason why is because you can see that this McCree's on about, he's getting near 50% hit points, right? You can tell because of like the shade of orange. He gets more orangey the more damage he takes, right? So he starts off a nice yellow, goes to green, Mercy's healing him, he's okay. Reinhardt charges in. Reinhardt's going to smack the shit out of him, this Diva's probably going to commit on him. Like, they're going to want to get something out of this dive. If they don't kill this McCree, this Reinhardt is dead. D-E-D dead. He's done, he's finished, he's donezo, he's going back to the retirement home, he's going to go and join Baldric in the afterlife. He's finished, because he's just really out of position. If the McCree dies, however, well, what's going to kill him? The Widowmaker? No, probably not. Widowmaker's not very good at killing Reinhardts. The Diva, maybe, takes a little while, but there's a Diva there as well to support it, block him, block for him, all that kind of stuff. If the Reinhardt dies, can they still push? Well, they're pushing into a Widowmaker, so no, not really. So there's sort of like this weird thing here of like, this Reinhardt is pretty out of position. If we can stop him getting any kills or any value, Baldric too soon. Ah, Baldric. Live with honor and die with glory. This is a young Reinhardt move. This is a stupid move. Because literally, especially like at this point, it's like, we got to get out there, we got to heal this guy. Because if that McCree survives, then he's got position to start springing back. Very, very minor thing. When we activate this, you can see that there's a Reinhardt there. Feel free to just like stand here in front of the Diva. What it means is if the Reinhardt tries charging the Diva, he will hit you, and then you're just going to hit the wall just behind you. This is a weird interaction, but what I would say is this. If you know that the Reinhardt can only take you, like, if they're like, this is Reinhardt, right? Big dude, and this is you. You're a tiny little thing. Right, if Reinhardt charges you, and you go like this far, that's fine, because you're going to just speed back to the team. If the Reinhardt charges you and you go like this fucking far and like you get dragged off to who knows fucking where, that's bad, because then he's nullified the Transcendence. But at these small distances, you are fine just sort of going, yeah, charge me, charge me. I don't care, charge me. I'm not gonna die. I'm enlightened. I'm out brainpowering your physicality somehow. So yeah. We could have maybe afforded as well just to push out a little bit more with the trance, just to get a bit more involved with the team. It looks like it's stabilizing anyway, so job done, basically.
The outcome.
Fight with honor, die with glory. It was a brilliant short. I loved it.
Peace be upon you.
They actually added the Overwatch medal to Baldrick's throw. Oh, bless. I mean, surely everyone knew that Reinhardt was a sweetheart. Like, come on now. This is scary. Like, this is a moment where we're probably going to lose here. Orban, good. That's all you can do. You got discorded. Small thing here. Start shooting the Reinhardt. Reinhardt's walling this bomb. If you start shooting him, if you kill this Reinhardt and people start hiding behind him, it makes it super easy. The Diva Bomb does manage to get both their supports, which is really nice, but yeah, this is where you really want to be on that Reinhardt. It's also just your best opportunity to kill him. The enemy team's starting to get wind in their sails. Widowmaker, though, coming in with the save. Mercy doing a good job. Looks like you guys are going to be okay. Ow. How are that? There's still like 13 minutes in this. Are there 2 games in this? Surely not. Surely not. No, here comes the Desperation Spring back. This is also why you don't assume victory until victory is over. Hey Sips, not for now at least. We're doing Coaching the Many, which is like my coaching series. We're teaching people how to play Zenyatta of all things. Okay. So very, very minor and small thing, but very, very important. Don't give up. Don't think that the game is over until it's over. Watch during this entire fight. This is Harmony Orb. Is Harmony Orb on anyone? No. No. No Harmony Orb. We're not healing. I'm not doing any healing. McCree's already dead, but we're still not healing anyone. We've got Discord Orb out on someone, but Harmony Orb's not doing shit. But no, no. Nope. Sounds minor. 30 heal per second. It's a pretty big deal. This feels like it's just, you know, like, oh yeah, we've already won this, we just have to clean this up. Enemy team is coming in all guns blazing, they're using everything. We have to be on point. Like, if you see this McCree do this, you put an orb on him, because he needs it. This guy needs this orb. This person, this chap right here, he needs that. Badly. He really wants it. So put that orb on him. Slap it on him. And yeah, like, it's the big difference that we could have done. In sort of, in comfort, I suppose, they had to use all their ultimates just to get through here, but yeah, just a little bit sloppy.
All good, guys. They barely got
A little bit sloppy.
Stay
It
back,
feels
man.
bad, man. Alright, we're looking for... Oh, that's a dead Mercy. Guys, general, like, dealing with Tracer Bomb 101. Stop moving. The bomb sticks on you. I've got to go slow-mo here, because... Probably a bit too far back. You can see the Diva's backpedaling towards the friggin' Mercy. If Diva just stood still and Mercy backpedaled, she might have just survived that, then we can heal her. Instead, like, Pulse Bomb has a really tiny radius. Hurts. Hurts. 720p 50, yeah. We mentioned the computer being a potato at the start, so... Fine, it's good enough. Actually... I'm looking at the frame rate meter in the top left at the moment. Like, it is quite low. I will say, like, if you manage to invest in a better computer, better graphics card, it will help a little bit. It won't help enormously because you're probably still relatively used to this, but it will help a little bit. Zenyatta, it's okay-ish on Zenyatta. You don't need the super high frame rate. It will make a huge difference if you play Tracer, though. It was driving me insane playing Tracer yesterday on like 50 frames. Good. Healing orb, Discord orb, we're all out. Saving up, right click, know where the diva is. You would have been fine probably just going for the diva there. Like, you knew exactly where she was. There is a blurry pixelated mess or something there, but we know where the diva is. Like, you could have probably just stayed and fought this diva, to be honest. Now, she comes in, she's very much on her own. Discord orbs up, she's backing out. You got a McCree here. You could take this diva. You could probably take this diva. Between the two of you. Again, McCree needs us. He needs us. You might want to consider trancing this. Maybe not now. Here it goes. We'll run through the thought process behind that in a second or two. It looks like you might just be okay. The reason why I say you might want to consider trancing this is because we're getting very near to the end here. Enemy team's been on sort of the front foot, but once the guy like lands the kill on the Tracer, okay, now it's starting to sort of click into place. It's a little bit more under control. And then we get lucky with the flash onto the soldier, and that's enough to kill the soldier. Okay, now it's fine. There's a little bit on the knife edge, though. A little bit on the knife edge. Coaching the Zenny, I see what you've done there. It's okay though, we still have trance, should we need it. Remember, this is a game where there's no big combos that we need to worry about. Like, the only thing we really need it for, super high, is Visor.
Mars is dead.
Okay, we're okay. All good. Positioning's fine, not taking any risks. It's a little bit greedy, but I understand why we did it. He got quite a lot of value off that, but I'd say like being 100% perfect, you would have probably been okay just letting him kill you. But I understand why we did the decision. Like this is very nitpicky almost. Where you can justify the Transcendent slightly, but to me, the optimal decision would have been let him kill you because we have the Diva to contain this, and then he's got to kill 6 people, basically. He's not really going to be able to do that. If Mercy was closer to us, it's a complete no-brainer. And also I'd say that like my instincts are also honed off the non-Mercy meta, so if Mercy still has res, then like it'll be a-okay just to die to this. Everyone just turns around, kills the soldier, whatever. Because they're not really pushing off the back of this. So it's almost like this fight is very much over, so we just let... Did she lose the mech there? No. What is with divas? Seriously. Seriously. This game is not over. Look, she's literally gone AFK after... So she ults and then crashes, or something, and then leaves the voice channel, which is a sign that she's crashed. What? What? Okay. I need like an ohm throw. Because Jesus. I like to call it monkey on me. Monkey's on me. So guys, Monkey Diva, they're gonna dive the shit out of you. Yeah. Fine with our decision there. We're in trouble now. Our only tank is gone. We're in a lot of trouble.
He's coming back.
Apparently he's coming back.
No one can hide from my sight.
Yeah, gonna DC, yeah.
We need someone to get a tank.
If someone leaves the voice channel, it's usually a sign that they've disconnected. Again, it's no big deal. There's no panic. Right now,
Nice.
Like, the Widow is actually doing you guys a huge amount at this point. When this happens, play defensively, play carefully. Don't engage any fights, but if they engage, just pull back as best you can. Try and sort of bait them in, try and get a couple of kills, but don't ever try and take a straight fight. Like, you won't win it. Just put damage into that, put the orb on him. Orbed ulted Winstons die very quickly. Like, he went down pretty fast. We can work on this a little bit more. Like, step right up, goes off, and we sort of just go, whoa! Like, why are we looking this far? Put an orb on this guy. If he uses Deadeye, put an orb on the McCree. Just a very, very good general idea. People are going to shoot at him. You want to just give him enough time to land the shot, basically. Maybe they'd either try to boost, but the ult lagged. Maybe. Even then, I would be kind of against it. I'd rather she just held onto it, and then just used it in the overtime period. Works a lot better. If people want to be flashy, take risks. Got another one. What? Wow. Well done him. Oh no, that's the enemy one. I was going to say, wow, what the hell? It's a very efficient combo. It's actually the Orisa plus... Ooh, this is dicey now. Just try and hold on. It's honestly, at this point, it's going to sound crazy. I'd say, like... This moment, it's worth trancing. I think at this point, it is worth using Transcendence. Why? Because you're playing for time. You're playing for time more than anything else. The Mercy also can't get out here very easily and res these two people. So what Transcendence will do is it'll give her the ability just to move out and maybe get a res off. But you are literally just playing to stall and to hope that this person comes back. Like, that's all you're doing at this point. And even if you lose this round, it gives you that little bit of extra time. The worst thing that could happen now is that you die, because there's a good chance you won't be able to get back to the point. So, like, prancing then as well, when they started shooting at you, would have been necessary, because I think they're just going to roll it in here. Yeah. This is, like, instincts telling me that at this point, with the number of people we have available and the number of people we have alive, we can't stall this. Like, you can't hope that someone is going to get out and touch. You have to be the one to touch. So yeah. So here I should have tranced, yeah.
Prepare your defenses. Select your hero.
It's okay. It's an easy sort of thing to miss, I suppose. Like, you want to hold on to it and you want to not waste it, but at the same time, it's like you've got to kind of waste it just to stall. It's tricky. It's only one of those things you can really get through experience. And yet, buy a better PC is not good advice, guys. If he wants to, he can, basically. Let's focus on the stuff we can control.
Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
The guy comes back, says, sorry team, it's okay. DCs happen to people. Don't ever get frustrated if someone does DC. Like, it's unfortunate, but it happens. So yeah. I really wish the Mercy wouldn't stand there.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 60 seconds.
Don't ever be that Mercy. The enemy team can see her standing there, first and foremost. The enemy team can just stand in the control room area and see her. Made the jump first time, yes he did. Coaching already worked. Yeah, we work fast here. No, don't ever be that Mercy, because the enemy team can all see her. And let's say the enemy team runs Trace against you, Winston, and just all dives and just kills the Mercy. Like, it's so difficult to come back from that. There's no need for her to be on that bridge. No need at all. Zero use. No function. Pointless. I hear a Bastion. Oh baby, oh baby. The Discord on it, good. Bastion's dead, good. I'm gonna have a hard time controlling this at the moment though. The Widowmaker has to swap at this point.
Please.
The Widowmaker must swap, yeah. Yeah, he realizes it as well, which is good. He's got to go and swap. He did a really good job on Widow, but this is one of those instances where Widowmaker just does not work.
10 seconds.
You might want to try and put the orb. So there's always kind of an interesting moment when you're playing Zenyatta, which is in situations like this where it's calm and it's like, who do I put the orb on? If that's no, that's not the Genji. Should be the Genji. You can either put it on the Genji, the McCree, the Mercy, or the Diva. I think you'll be better putting it on the Genji. You can just do more of it, so it means that he'll be freer just to get out onto the point. He'll be jumping around, contesting, stuff like that, deflecting. You could also put it on the Diva, I would say. Those are the two high priority targets. The Diva can look after herself a bit more though, so I'd say put it on the Genji at the moment. Widow swapping? Yeah, it happens, guys. Where it gets tricky now. Because you've done the hard bit, you've killed the Bastion, but the enemy team is just retaliating super... Like, the enemy team is playing very well at this point. Playing a lot better than they were before. Remember, you don't have to do too much. Very, very minor thing. Would have been worth when you're jumping just to look down and just to look over here. Try and get a Discord orb on the Bastion, because odds are you can probably just keep glancing at him, keep him in line of sight. With a Discord orb on the Bastion, it's very hard for the Bastion to survive. I mean, you're nullifying Ironclad and then some, so if you can get that Discord orb on early, it makes your life a bit easier. Otherwise, let's just try and set up. Play nice and defensively. Good. Good. Diva being baby Diva is really bad for your team at the moment. Get that orb on the Genji. Good. Nice. This is very good for our team. Harmony. There we go. Again, we need to be a little bit quicker on that. Probably be fine trancing here. That needed to be faster. But, wow. C9 lol. Hope that should be London Spitfires lol soon. The reason why I say you'd be fine trancing at this point is because everyone is low. Like, everyone's just taking a beating. This fight's on a knife edge. Again, I'm gonna be faster on getting the orb on these people that really need it. We get it, Genji's engaged, and it won't stop the Bastion killing people, but that's not really the idea. The idea is to just top people off and get people into the fight as much as possible, to slow down the payload a little bit, to enable this Genji to do his job more. And then afterwards, when the sight goes off, like, that's definitely your cue. When you heard that, like, just now, I would have just hit Q. Fight's still in progress. We know the fight's still in progress because we've been looking at it. We've been using our eyes. We've been seeing that, hey, the people are still fighting all over the place. Kill feed still relatively uneven. We don't know full result. It's an overtime. Payload's in a location. We can contest it. We can do a lot. So you hear that sight and you just use it. Because if you wait until you can like see stuff, don't. People will kill people in that time.
Nice. They left the payload.
But yeah, wow. Genji's engaged, you know, it's a mercy, making all the pharmacy shippers very angry. Wonder if Mercy and Moira have a ship name. I'm sure someone on Tumblr has made it. With those goddamn sprays that are meant to be sort of side by side, but they made them so they're like embracing. Moiracy? Moiracy would work. Sounds a bit like Morrissey. Moisey. Moisey is a bit ugh. Moisey. Sounds like Moisey. Hey Moisey. How's you doing? Moisey. Ah, Moisey. Fucking like gangster movie. Ah, Moisey. Have Moisey. Yeah, they're from Boston, exactly. New Yorker. I can't do a New York accent, unfortunately. Hey Moisey. Forget about it, Moisey. If the enemy team has a big ult like Genji, should you always save the transfer? Or if you see another opportunity, do take it. Another couple of minutes, so let's cover that. Yes and no. If the enemy, like, think about it not from even that level, think about it from one level down. Why do you use Transcendence? What is the purpose of using Transcendence? At its most fundamental level, the purpose of using Transcendence is so you don't lose the fight. That's all it is. You don't lose the fight. You put out a shitload of healing. It means that it's very hard to kill people on your team, and so you end up winning the fight. Okay? Now then. Let's take the game in the context of a series of fights, and you have like fight 1, 2, 3, 4. Could have picked a... There we go. Right. 5 fights, okay? And let's say that the enemy team wins fight 1, 2, you have Transcendence, and then they win fight 3, fight 4. They haven't even used Dragon Blade. They don't need it, they're just winning these fights. Fight 5, like, then what is the value of Transcendence? If you go from fight, and usually it takes, especially for, like, as you get higher, it takes usually 2 fights to build an ultimate. Lower ranks, it will take 3. So, Dragon Blade and Transcendence should come online at about the same time, unless one of them's been performing out of their mind. So then, if you hit a fight and you hit fight number 3, and you're going to lose fight number 3, but you use Transcendence and win it, and then they come to fight 4 and use Dragon Blade to win it, is there any real difference there between using Transcendence and them, like, not using the Dragon Blade? Like, they could use Dragon Blade to win the fight, you could have used Transcendence to win the fight. You just put forward the resources first and you win that fight and you stabilize in this location. So, you are fine using these ultimates, but there is a time and a place for them as well. If the fight is like outside, so let's say fight 1 happens, you know, over here, fight 2 happens all the way in front of the hangar doors, and fight 3 happens just like a couple of meters into second point, you're probably not going to use the Transcendence there. There's no point. The enemy respawns are too close. Winning that fight isn't as valuable. So then winning fight number 4 becomes more valuable, so you'll save it for then. So it's not like a 100% thing of, I am going to save my ultimate for Dragon Blade, because then the Genji could just win by not using Dragon Blade. And you never use Transcendence. Instead you want to use Transcendence to say, no, I'm going to win this fight. Now then, if the enemy team is diving you super aggressively, and they are trying to kill you and force your Transcendence, then you really want to know, before the fight even usually, if you want to commit Transcendence to that fight. You want to be very, very clear on, okay, this fight, I'm going to need Transcendence. We have to win this fight. And that's usually the second fight of the point. So again, so if you consider like the progress bar here, right, fight number 1 usually happens around here. Like first point, fight number 1 happens in this area, right? You usually have a fight here, and usually the attackers win it. Then you'll have a fight outside the hangar doors, which is fight number 2. For the defenders, it is very important to win fight number 2. Very important to win fight number 2. For the attackers, it's very important to win fight number 2 as well. Winning fight number 1 for the defenders, not that valuable, because the respawn comes in super quick. And losing fight number 1, not that big of a detriment for the attackers. You can honestly just hold on to stuff, maybe try and bait out some positioning errors and stuff like that. It's a-okay. So it's this very fundamental idea of not, oh, well, they have Dragon Blade, therefore, or like they have Tac Visor, so I have to save Trance for it. It's more like, if they use Dragon Blade, I use Trance to deny them that win. And that's more the mentality. It's a very, very important way of thinking about the game. Where I think people just want a simple flowchart. If Dragon Blade in-game, yes. If Dragon Blade in-game, true, then save Transcendence, use Transcendence on Dragon Blades. But if the enemy team is clever, then they're not going to use Dragon Blade until you use Transcendence anyway. Or they're going to try and force you to use Transcendence, in which case you might as well use it regardless. Because they're just not going to commit the Dragon Blade until they know they can get away with it. Like, there's levels and layers. Like, this Trance is absolutely fine. They're honestly in a, say, slightly better position will be more like here, so that your team can safely just drop down onto you, and you might be catching the people up top a little bit better, but yeah. They're perfectly fine with that Trance. Mogweed. Mogweed has left the game. Feels bad, man. You guys are going to win it anyway, because you're committing every ultimate on the planet. But yeah.
Analo in this corner. Push bed spawns. Push.
Are you chatting with yourself now? Listen, Clanok. My job is literal. I'm in a room here on my own chatting to myself. My job is talking to myself. Because it's the only intelligent conversation I ever get, it's very much worth doing. Right. Mercy meta 2 ultimate fight, yes, okay. Valkyrie fights are a bit longer. It's a bit different. Honestly, you guys are doing fine. Just until that last 20 seconds, you can just sort of keep it rolling. Again, High Noon's gone off. We haven't turned around and put an orb on him. Oh no, wait, that's theirs. Ignore me. I thought that was our Deadeye. I'm dumb. I just heard McCree speaking. Yeah, that's there. Sort of step right up. Feels bad, man. If you guys lose this due to the DC, that's kind of heartbreaking. It happens. I think you guys deserve to win this one. We do the boombox. Swap to soldier. Try and get there faster. Oh, that hurts. That hurts. Your team played better, I would say. If you're frustrated about this kind of circumstance, like, understand that it's going to happen to the enemy team at some point. It happens to everyone. Yeah.
No one can hide.
Sometimes it just happens. Like, it'll happen to the enemy team at some point and you'll end up winning, and it's never fun, but it happens. All streamers are insane? Moderately, yeah. It's even worse for YouTube. It's like, I know that there's a live audience out there. I know that there are people sat down watching this, or probably have it, more likely, more reasonably, probably have it off to one side. On one side, it's playing on your second monitor and you're playing a video game. What video game are you playing? I'm sure it's very interesting. But yeah, it's off to one side or whatever. And like, you're watching me. Doing YouTube videos, you're just literally talking into a microphone and driving yourself nuts. But yeah, don't be too frustrated about a loss like that. I'd say overall our performances were very good. It's just being a little bit sharper on the healing orbs, I'd say, would be our biggest thing. Discord orb priority seemed fine. Occasionally we have a habit of just drifting out of position to where we can just die. So just be a little bit more defensive, be a little bit more careful about where we're standing, a little bit more defensive. Overall, it seemed to be okay. Our ultimate decision making, again, just needs to be a little sharper. Like, we're getting there. We are definitely getting there. We don't need to sort of worry about too much. DCG's EU4, nice. So yeah, Total Warhammer 2, yeah. It's literally, yeah. Switch on laptop, I watch your main monitor. See, playing Destiny 2, yep. Listen, I watch streams too. I know how it works. I used to play XCOM or something, and then I'll have another stream on or something like that. It's fine. It's fine. Right. Now then. Hopefully that was useful, but we're going to start taking questions from the chat. So chat, if you have any questions about Zenyatta, now's a good time to start asking them, and then I'll have them answered in part number 2. BRB. Wow. Right. Now to change to part 2.